make this quick little video, another Stop the Binge video. I've been reading this book, Brain Over Binge, by Kathryn Hansen. Right there, Brain Over Binge. I actually used washi tape to cover the whole thing, so I could like read it on the bus and people wouldn't be like, what book are you reading? What book are you reading? I'm just weird like that. I just wanted to show you like one of the big revelations that I found from this book. If none of you have time to read it, or if you just don't like reading, I just wanted to tell you the two main takeaways. First, majority of binging comes from restriction. So restriction leads to binging. Not saying that's the case all the time, but in most cases, whenever someone restricts crazy amounts in their diet, in their workouts, like if they just, it's their control. It's how you control your food. Whatever diet you go on, whatever fad diet, whatever quick diet you go on, any heavy restriction, that's what can lead to binging because it triggers something in your mind. She says it like this: there's a lower brain and a higher brain. Your lower brain is like the animal instinct brain that thinks about survival, so breathing. It needs food, it needs water. So when it's being restricted, it sends out these messages like, oh, I need food, so I gotta go find food and go eat food. Now your higher brain is your smarter brain, or your human brain. It's the part of your brain that can actually control what you do. Your animal brain, your lower brain, may have these urges to, I need to eat, or these urges to eat, or these, like your basic animal urges. Your higher brain is what controls it. So you are what controls your hand movements, grabbing the food. You are what controls your chewing, your eating, your swallowing. You're what controls the action. And so she's saying basically restricting can lead to binging. It's like the more you try to restrict food, the more you want to eat because you're restricting it so much. Your animal brain's way of protecting you because it thinks you're going through starvation, like how we used to go through in like the caveman days. So it's not weird for you to have these urges. Of course, if you're restricting yourself, if you're dieting like crazy, of course you're gonna have urges to want to eat food, to want to get all those foods you're saying no to. Because you're restricting yourself and saying, no, you can't have these foods, you're kind of sending your animal brain the message that there is like there's like a famine, that there is no food around. It's like compelling you to eat because there's a lack of food around you. That's what it thinks. And then binging comes from when you finally give in to that animal brain and then you eat, and then you eat and eat and eat. You're probably like, but Josie, I'm not dieting anymore. I'm trying to love myself more. I've stopped the yo-yo dieting. I've stopped fad diets, but why am I still binging? That's because now you've made it a habit. You have made it a habit to continue listening to that lower brain and acting on it. And the action that you are doing is eating more food, continuing to overeat, continuing to binge. Restriction led to binging. Habit continues the binging. Whenever I say binging, it sounds like I'm saying beeping. It's so hard to get rid of a habit. It's not easy. You can make good habits and you can make bad habits. Like good habits are going to the gym, getting on that workout habit, going to bed on time, getting your recommended hours of sleep, brushing your teeth, all that stuff. But just as it's easy to make good habits, it's also easy to make bad habits. And the habits will grow depending on whether you feed it or not, like literally and metaphorically. What you continue to do will continue. How do you break a habit? You need to break a habit. So right now she says that there's like a neural pathway in your brain that puts like number one, your animal brain's urges to binge, and number two, your higher brain's actions together. So whenever you get that urge now, your automatic habit is to act on it and overeat. Does it make sense? Basically, we need to cut that neural pathway. We need to cut it in half and say sayonara because we don't want to do it anymore. We do not want to continue this anymore. Correct the binge eating wiring in your brain. It's so much easier said than done, but here's her steps to how she fixed it. She calls this the brain over binge method. Number one, I viewed my urges to binge as a neurological junk from my lower brain. You don't even really want it. Your problem isn't binge eating. Your problem is the urge to binge eat. Because one, it's rewarding, it tastes good, it feels good, whatever. You get that high off of all the sugary food. Number two, she says, you binge in order to get rid of the urge to binge. You just can't fight it and you're just so tired and fed up with saying no to it, you just give in and you binge so that the urge can go away. You need to cut that off. You know what you want to do. You want to quit binging. You do. You want to quit binge eating. You want to quit overeating. But these stupid animal brain urges keep coming up. And it's hard to fight with. So don't fight it anymore, she says. Just let it be. And her step one is to recognize it as not really you, because you know what you want. You want to stop binge eating. It's just that lower animal brain that still thinks it's in that habit of saying, oh, well, let's just binge. Why not? I am gonna give you the urge to binge. Recognize that as not the real you, because you know your true goal. This is not the real you speaking. It's just your animal brain. It's on a habit. It's on a constant cycle. And you need to just recognize it as junk. That's not true anymore. You really do not want to binge. You don't need to binge because you are eating all these different foods. You're filling your diet now with colorful, delicious, nutrient-dense and not nutrient-dense foods, and you're not deprived anymore. So you know that you don't need to binge, but it's a stupid lower brain that's making you feel like you want to binge. So step one is to realize that that's junk and that's not the real you. Number two is she separated her higher brain from her urges, or from her lower brain. So she said it as like she was viewing a distance, a gap between the two brains, realizing that this is junk and this is what she really wanted. Step three, she stopped reacting to those urges. Stopped feeling angry at them, stop trying to fight them, stop giving your lower brain power. Stop reacting to the urges, and number four, stop acting on the urges. Break that habit by no longer acting on it. Soon, the more often you do that, the more you're gonna break that neural pathway in your brain that connects the urge to the action to keep doing it over and over and over again, the habit. The more you stop acting on that small twinkling of an urge, no matter how big it is, it's a giant crashing wave or a little ripple in the water, you need to keep ignoring it, keep pushing it down. There's like a few ways you can ignore it. You can just sit by yourself, take it all in, breathe it all in, meditate, or whatever you need to do. Just imagine it, just see the urge, feel the urge, but don't act on it. Just do not act on it. Or you can do other hobbies and other things to just replace that action. Play some guitar, or play some music, or read a book, or go out with friends. Like, do something else to replace the old habit. So instead of binge eating, do something else. Whatever it is, you just gotta break off that neural connection that connects those two actions. And then after that, step five is I got excited. Step five is get excited. Because the more you cut off this habit, the more you stop the urges and stop acting on them, you should get excited. You should be happy about yourself. You should be proud of yourself. Pat yourself on the back. Say, good job, good job. The more reward for doing this new action, for replacing the old action of overeating with something else, whether it's just recognizing that it's not really you and pushing it away and ignoring it, or whether it's replacing the action with something else. The more you celebrate yourself, the more you reward yourself, the more your brain's gonna be like, oh, so doing this is a good thing. Okay, and it's gonna replace that bad habit with a new, a better, a good habit. That's how she says it in this book. There's more, I haven't finished it yet, but there is more to the book. But that's the gist of it. Restriction gets you to binging, and the habit keeps you binging. Hopefully this helped. I know it's a lot easier said than done, and it's something you need to practice every day. I'm practicing it every day. It's not easy for anybody. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I'm fully recovered, because you're never fully recovered from these little stupid things in your mind, because it is in your mind. It's like, you know, it's just never perfect. But if you do have time, please read it or buy an audiobook or something. I think there's a YouTube video of someone reading the chapters. If you want me to read the chapters and film it, let me know, because I like to read out loud. Sometimes I'll pull it in a British accent just to make you laugh. If it did help, please like this video to help spread it around, and I will make more Stop the Binge videos in the future. I know that's what a lot of you like to see. It helps you out in your own life. And please let me know by thumbsing it up, commenting below, sharing it, whatever. Subscribe for more videos, and I will see you all in the next one. I really hope it helps you out, and I love you all so much. Bye!
So is it too late now to say sorry? 'Cause I'm missing more than just